Now, what is the due process that one demands of the department? Well, that is captured in another piece of legislation,
Yeah.
and that is called the Administrative Justice Act.
Yes.
So, in the event that the minister intends depriving the applicant of her citizenship, he has to abide by the provisions of administrative justice. What does it demand?
Yeah.
It demands both procedural and substantive fairness.
Uh,
Procedurally, you
yeah.
will have to give notice to the applicant saying, look, it's come to my attention that A, B, and C is wrong with this application. I'm inviting you to make representations to me so I can hear your side of the story. It's called the Audi Outram Papram rule. This is a similar complaint to the ZEP matter, where a decision was taken to withdraw the ZEP without consultation. So it's
Yeah.
exactly the same thing.
So,
Consult first
so
and then make a decision. Yes.
So, Ashraf, it would seem to me that this is a very complicated legal process and is not as simple as perhaps made out to be on social media.
Absolutely not simple. Everyone has a right. The right is enshrined in the Constitution. The Constitution has a Bill of Rights, which is the cornerstone of our democracy. And that demands things like equity, fairness,
Yeah.
not being judged guilty, given an opportunity to prove yourself, lawful administrative justice, and reasons. They've got to provide reasons in writing to the applicant. Say,
Absolutely.
listen, this is what we found, with inviting you to give us comments. So clearly not cut and dry.
Yeah.
To me, a very long process and a road ahead.
Yeah.
Fraught with, I would suggest, appeals and cross appeals, and ultimately a judicial appeal may decide otherwise. Might decide, look, the facts are not supported by the outcome.
Ashraf, thank you so much for your inputs on this. I'm glad that we've got calm voices and experts on this matter. Ashraf Esop, an immigration law expert. And now we are going to the top of the hour, 4 o'clock. We are going to go to Bayanda Ziboti, who's going to be giving us the news.
This news broadcast is delivered by Mr. D, saluting all women who get things done.
Power News.
And Nkosi Siviwe, in the top stories this hour, MK parties confirmed the removal of 18 of its members deployed to the National Assembly. And in the US elections, Donald Trump is seemingly perturbed by the surging support for Kamala Harris and her newly announced running mate.
In the sports headlines, Sakani Simbini delivered a storming anchor run to take South Africa's relay team to a spot in the final of the men's 400-meter relay at the Paris Olympic. Meanwhile, Mamelodi Sundowns head coach Manqoba Mngqithi says the most difficult match in football are the ones that supporters expect you to win. Details at 4:30.
With the news at 4 o'clock, I'm Bayanda Zibonti. The MK party has announced the replacement of 18 members of parliament it had initially deployed to the National Assembly following the May polls. Now, the party is citing new information that has since surfaced on the members' suitability. MK party spokesperson Hlamulo Ndlela says that all the over 50 members deployed to fill the vacancies had been aware of the possibility of their replacement as the newly formed party found its feet in parliament. Ndlela has sought to offer further clarity on this matter.
We are replacing approximately 18. Now, out of those 18 names, 6 of those, let's say, spaces were vacant. So there were names of individuals that were not sworn in. And that was because of either the people were incapacitated or, they were ill and so on and so on. So there's a number of reasons why certain people didn't pitch up to be sworn in. The 12, it was communicated to them even before swearing in that they were not, basically because, as you would know now, maybe disclosing for the first time if you've never heard before, we had lodged a case, we opened up a case with the Sandton police station because our candidate list was sabotaged.
The ANC says it has its deployees, to the Government of National Unity cannot afford to rest on their laurels due to competition from ministers from other political parties. With the ANC in the driving seat of the GNU, it currently heads 20 ministries out of 32 and holds the position of Speaker in the legislature. As a result of the election outcomes, Mbalula, speaking for the ANC, as the Secretary General says that the diversity of the GNU cabinet will see other ministers from other political parties seek to take the spotlight. Now, besides the ANC, the DA has 6 ministries, while smaller parties such as the Good, the IFP, the PA and Freedom Front Plus are represented in cabinet. Speaking at Lutuli House earlier, Balula's called on the ANC members not to dishonour the image of the organisation as it leads the GNU.
His job, he will get our support. And society will be behind that minister. If a minister who comes from the ANC is sleeping on the job, the ANC will be exposed. That nifake abantu apha kodwa ayingobantu. Why do you cry foul when a particular minister is doing his job, is active? We can't. We want a government that is capable and that is working. And that is what the ANC will support.
Onto this now, Miss South Africa finalist Chidima Adetshina has announced her withdrawal from the pageant, which is set to take place in Pretoria at the weekend. Adetshina released a statement earlier today citing concerns over her own safety and the well-being of her family amid the uproar over her participation. The 23-year-old has been at the centre of social media debate on the criteria of the pageant, as she is reportedly born of a Nigerian father and Mozambican mother. Now, in a statement released by the Home Affairs Department recently, as investigations have since found a prima facie evidence indicating fraud committed by Adetshina's mother, that she acquired documents fraudulently. ATM spokesperson Uzama Njana says that the negative impact suffered by those affected by identity theft and fraud cannot be overstated.
We pride ourselves on our ability to coexist peacefully with those who are here legally and abide by our laws. When we address concerns of criminality involving foreign nationals, it is unjust to label us as xenophobic. This mischaracterization undermines the reality of our social or societal values, which emphasize unity and respect. Honorable Minister, your prompt action and transparency in addressing the questions surrounding Ms. Chidima Adetshina's citizenship will go a long way in quelling speculation and fostering a more informed, respectful public dialogue.
A notice has been issued prohibiting the Temba Magistrates Court from operating until it has complied with occupational health and safety standards. This follows an inspection by the Department of Labour and Employment in Hammanskraal earlier today. The labour inspectors have since issued 6 prohibition notices, 2 improvement notices and 6 contravention notices. Speaking to Power News, Principal Inspector Oma Mahlangu says the prohibition is based on the court being exposed to a risk of fire, since fire extinguishers are not being maintained. It was also found that 90% of toilet facilities are not working. Mahlangu says the precinct has also had a number of exposed electrical wires with no evacuation plan in place, among others.
We are issuing the notices whether they do accept it or not. So the court will be closed until they comply. Then we will come and revoke, so that the community and all the clients, including myself, we need to be safe in South Africa to any premises, any facilities that are being used by us as South Africans. The entire court will be shutting until at least they can call us to revoke in terms of protecting, in terms of fire.
And news coming out of the United States now, Donald Trump has scheduled a short-notice media event as poll numbers surge for his election rival Kamala Harris. Trump has announced the General News Conference in a one-sentence post on his Truth Social platform. This after Harris and new running mate Tim Walz have drawn large, jubilant crowds for her freshly energized Democratic bid to beat Trump in the November polls. The Democrat pair has seen a surge in support, with Harris raking in donations and erasing Trump's lead in the polls. Now, Trump is described in U.S. media reports as angry at how his campaign is now performing against Harris and how it dominates news coverage. He is also reportedly unhappy with his young Republican running mate, J.D. Vance, who has since been described as a lackluster public speaker and making a poor impression with voters. A look at the financial indicators this hour. The rand was last trading at 18 rand 38 cents to the US dollar, 32 rand 23 cents to the pound sterling, and 20 rands a cent to the euro. Gold was last trading at $2,412.28 a fine ounce. Brent crude oil at $78.30 a barrel. A look at your weather for Gauteng. Tomorrow, fine conditions are expected across the province. Temperatures in Johannesburg are set to range between 9 and 26 degrees. In Vereeniging, 9 and 25, and Pretoria, 10 and 27. Recap of the top story in Power News this hour. The MK Party has announced a short while ago the replacement of 18 members of parliament it had initially deployed to the National Assembly following the May polls.
Now taking to your roads and your power traffic on the N3 southbound after the Marlborough Drive exit as a stationary vehicle still causing queuing traffic. Out in Sandton, if you are on South Road just ahead of Bowling Avenue, it's a 20-minute long delay. The M1 northbound ahead of the Greyston Drive exit is slow-moving traffic. Please do proceed with caution.
Power News.
Celebrate Women's Month with us. Mr. D is thrilled to honor the amazing women who embody dedication and achievement. This month, it's all about paying tribute to all the women who get things done. We proudly salute you, support you, and admire you for your ability to get things done. Shop the Mr. D app and get amazing deals when you order this Women's Month. Mr. D. The D is for done.
And now you're listening to Power Drive, 3 to 6 p.m. Taking your calls on 0861 987 000.
Coming up in the next hour is the Mr. D giveaway moment where you stand a chance to win 1,000 Rand in Mr. D coupon redeemable on the Mr. D app. Check the giveaway on power987.co.za under the 987 Women tab to participate. And now I'm going to introduce you to one of my favorite songs that I'm currently playing on my playlist. Zoe, she is incredible, man. I still need to go and see her live. If you've just joined us and you are wondering why Tabiso is not with you today, my name is Siviwe Gwarube, the Minister of Education. But for tonight, this afternoon, I go by the name DJ Siv G, please. If you've just joined us, you're welcome to the second hour of Power Drive. And I would love to hear from you. Please interact with us on the studio line 086197 987 000 or on X or Twitter. Power FM 987. The show hashtag is Power Drive. On Facebook, we're on Power FM. And you can also send me some voice notes on 083 303 7093. And the different frequencies: Johannesburg 98.7, West Rand 103.6, Vereeniging 104.4, in Ekurhuleni 107.2, and the DSTV audio channel 889. And if you're online and streaming this on powerfm.co.za. And so I did promise you that I'm going to be speaking to some incredible women on the show in honor of Women's Month. And so on the line I have Speaker Thoko Didiza, who is the Speaker of the National Assembly, who was elected about 6 weeks ago. The Speaker is the former Minister of Agriculture and has had an illustrious political career, and certainly is one of the women I look up to in politics. Speaker, how are you?
I'm fine, Vanessa, and how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining us. I thought it would be so incredibly important to just have a conversation about the role of women in politics. I know things have not always been the way that they are now. We've moved we've made significant strides in my time in politics, but I know there was a time when you were in politics when things were not exactly the way that they are. Tell us a little bit about what it was like in walking in the political circles after 1994.
Well, thank you very much, Siviwe. Maybe for our listeners, it would be important for us to reflect back on South African women and their participation in politics. It did not start after 1994. Actually, early on in the early 1900s, women of South Africa were already addressing social issues, dealing with issues of land, dispossession. People like Charlotte Maxeke, who actually started to also reflect on the oppression of women and how to infuse the struggle for gender equality with gone on over the years. You look at 1954, the South African Federation of Women, when they drafted a women's charter, looking at what are those things that must change in order for us as women to have full participation in all public life, not just in politics, but wherever we want to be. In 1955, you would remember the volunteers of women who participated in the drafting of the Freedom Charter. And in 1956, that march, which actually brought all women of South Africa from different religious backgrounds, different political persuasion, class dynamics, they all went with a one voice against, discrimination of women, particularly the carrying of passes.
Speaker,
before 1990, you had the Women's Coalition, which also drafted, giving us a map of what must happen in addressing women's issues in post-apartheid South Africa.
Yeah.
So 1994, I must say that for women and young women like myself at the time, I think what was a momentous occasion is to actually say we have been able to actually disrupt the status quo in terms of patriarchy and how women are seen in society. But also we were very conscious that we're not there for ourselves. We were representing the women folk of South Africa, and therefore we had a responsibility to ensure that those things we put up on the Women's Charter for effective equality are actually realized. But also how we interact with women outside.
Can I jump in here? I think, Speaker, you mentioned something so important about the fact that women in South Africa have always been strong politically. And that sometimes I think there's a mischaracterization as though, you know, it's only nowadays that women are getting involved in politics, that we have a long history of strong political leaders in women long before 94.
It is, actually. I always say to people, what was very interesting, even though it was the apartheid state at the time, at least you still had Rina Venter representing women, even in that government at the time. Towards the democratic dispensation, Sheila Kamara was then made a Deputy Minister of Justice, which reflects that women across the board have been very active in the political space. But it also runs into, the private sector, into the social space. You've got many women. I look back and think of people like Mamu Ellen Kuzwai and the role that they played. You look at people like Mae Pregelia Bam, our first women, and who led an illustrious career in actually ensuring that we have a good basis for monitoring our elections and conducting our elections in the country and helping other countries in our context.
Absolutely. Speaker, now I want to talk a little bit about you. A lot of people say that for women, you can't have it all. If you are going to choose a career, then you have to give up on family. But that hasn't been your story. Tell us how you did it. Can I still have some babies besides the 14 million babies that belong to me in the education system?
Wow. Babies are a gift from God, and they're a lovely bunch, I must say. I mean, for me, I really have to say I was fortunate that my partner, my husband, is somebody who himself is an activist, but also understood that in order for us to change society, we needed both men and women to participate in the society. So he has been very supportive, but also my mother and my sister and brother have really played a very supportive role in ensuring that at times when I was not there, there were deputy parents to make sure that, children are supported. But I also understood, as all other women, that pregnancy is not a sickness. So I never felt ashamed or felt inadequate when I had two of my children when I was already a member of parliament and a deputy minister and minister.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
So that happened. And I must say, one of the funny things is that at times I had to do homework over the phone.
Yep.
But also I made sure that when I had an opportunity and I'm not, at work, I would participate in their school life.
Yeah.
I would go to watch them playing games. I would also participate in school meetings, even though sometimes the teachers will say, what is Gogo? We are used to Gogo being present in this meeting.
Yeah, but I suppose it speaks to the value of a village, right? In supporting one another. Before I let you go, I must ask you: you are one of the most powerful women in our political space right now, and a woman that I really admire. I'm sure you know this. And you've recently, been elected as the speaker. What are some of the things that you want to do in this term, particularly when it comes to advancing women's participation in parliament?
We need to create an enabling environment in our legislatures and parliament that help women to do their work as public representatives effectively. Younger women, they are at the cusp of their career when they're young, where they are actually advancing their careers. But at the same time, it is that time when they're starting to build families. So how do we as a legislator ensure that women are able to continue their work, not worrying about whether I must have a child now or I must suspend it later? So we are looking, as we do the rebuilding of parliament, where we will have, the facility for crashes, for nursing women, so that they can actually, while participating in the debate, during break time, they can go and actually nurse their babies. But more importantly, how do we enable women to ensure that in the way they look at legislation, in the way they look at policy, they can look at those also from a gender lens?
Absolutely.
How do we improve in an effective way the lives of women, the lives of young women, the lives of girls in our society? But also we know that women, when they look at those things, they are not, exclusive. They are very inclusive. So what is it that we do for our youth, both girls and boys, young women and young men, so that we build this non-sexist society that we want to achieve? So there are many things that in Parliament we can do.
Absolutely.
One of those is ensuring that the multi-party caucus is functional, is to also make sure that in terms of creating possibilities for engagement between women in Parliament, women in the legislature, and the broader women's movement. Because remember, I said earlier, we do not represent ourselves. There's a whole of women that look up to us and what we will do to change our society for the better.
Absolutely. Speaker of the National Assembly, Ms. Thoko Didiza, thank you so much for joining me. And thank you so much for joining me on this show. I want you to know that you have my absolute undying support. I want to see feeding rooms in Parliament. It's high time that we start seeing a Parliament that is built with women and men in mind. And so I look forward to some of the exciting things that you're going to do. And all the very best. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you.
And now we are going to go over to Fifi for the traffic.
This Power Traffic is proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors South Africa. Hashtag She's Unstoppable. There's a Mitsu for her.
Power Traffic.
Thank you, Minister. And it's a very good afternoon. A quick stop on the roads on the N1 northbound in the city of Tshwane ahead of the Atterbury Road exit is queuing traffic. Add 15 minutes to your travel time. There's an accident on the N4 westbound ahead of the Proefplaas interchange, resulting in some slow-moving traffic, as well as a series of traffic lights that aren't functioning in Centurion, at Old Johannesburg and Brakfontein, at the R55 in Waterberg, at the N14 and Jean, at Old Johannesburg and Tlokwe. Traffic pointsmen are on duty for Power Traffic. I am Refilwe Matsela.
Power Traffic.
Power Traffic was proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors South Africa. For the bold boundary breakers, there's a Mitsu for her.
Mara why?
Why, as the culinary queen of your catering business, are you also juggling the tasks of an HR manager, accountant, and IT? Mara, why miss out on accessing experts from finance, marketing, and so much more for just 40 Rand on your insurance premium with Santam Business Assist? Speak to your broker or visit santam.co.za. Santam, insurance good and proper. Santam is an authorized FSP, a licensed non-life insurer, and controlling company for its group companies.
Have you ever considered a new Ford? Hatfield Motor Group's Ford dealerships will give you 100,000 Rand more on your trade-in when buying a new Ford Puma. But there's more. It includes a 4-year, 60,000-kilometer maintenance plan. Come get 100 grand off the all-new Ford Puma. Dealers in Imamsumtoti, Fourways, Midrand, Woodmead, Sandton and Bryanston. Hatfieldgroup.co.za. Rated #1 in service.
Our birthday, your gifts. This year, we're rewarding you on our birthday. Celebrate with us and enjoy amazing giveaways like your share of 30 million Rand when you sign up or upgrade to any Red business plan. Visit vodacombusiness.co.za or your nearest store and get money into your VodaPay wallet. T's and C's apply. Here's to the next 30 years of SME growth. Vodacom Business. Further together.
The 2024 987 Woman Takeover. Hashtag 987 Woman.
Welcome back to Power Drive with Siviwe Gwarube. The time now is 16:30, and I'm going to hand over to Bayanda Zimbonti with the headlines.
And go see Siviwe. In news making headlines this hour, the MK party has sought to clarify its move to replace 18 of its members in parliament. This following the May polls, where 58 of its members were sworn in at a stage later than the rest of the National Assembly, as it boycotted the initial swearing-in event over its challenges to the 2024 elections. And the party is saying now that members affected were aware of the possibility of this move. MK Party spokesperson Tlamulo Ndlela spoke to Power News.
It was communicated to them that they would not be it was preferred that they not be sworn in, and that at a later stage they would be replaced, and they knew that. So it was either you sworn in or you don't get sworn in, and they chose the swearing in. And Parliament allows for replacement, by the way, and we informed Parliament that this is what was going to happen. Now, remember, when it comes to swearing in, that's a parliamentary process that we have to follow. So we will heed to Parliament's call and follow their processes. So that's something that Parliament can respond to.
On to other news now. The Patriotic Alliance says that competitions such as the Miss South Africa pageant should be exclusively for South Africans and showcase the country's culture and identity. This follows Miss SA contestant Chidima Ondwe Adechina's withdrawal from the competition, announced earlier today due to her citizenship saga. For weeks now, South Africans have been debating the criteria of the competition as well as her nationality, as it's been confirmed that her parents are foreign nationals, her father Nigerian origin and her mother Mozambican. The Department of Home Affairs yesterday confirming that her parents are in the country illegally and that her birth was fraudulently recorded in the country. Now, while the Home Affairs Department says investigations continue, the Patriotic Alliance has stressed that competitions such of this nature should be exclusively for South African nationals. Here's the party's Deputy President, Kenu Kunene.
Now that this Nigerian has withdrawn from the contest, which is what we wanted the court to compel it to do, we will now not proceed with the court case as it will defeat the purpose. And now that this Nigerian has gotten out of a South African contest, we want to wish all South Africans who are contesting for Miss South Africa all of the best, and let the best South African win and go represent us globally, be a patriotic ambassador to all South Africans.
And Gauteng Education MEC Madome Chirwane says that the driver of the bakkie believed to have been the cause of the crash, which claimed the lives of 11 school pupils and their transport driver in Carltonville, has a case to answer. Chilwane has expressed her confidence in the justice system in dealing with this case. Gert van Enemis is facing 12 counts of culpable homicide and is currently out on 20,000 rands bail. In July, his Ford Ranger reportedly rear-ended the children's college transport, causing it to overturn and burst into flames. I'll have more on these and other power news at 5 o'clock.
Now taken to your roads and your power traffic. It's a stationary vehicle on the N3 southbound after the Marlborough driver exit, obstructing two of the left lanes. Please do proceed with caution. Midrand on the N1 southbound into the Betlu interchange is queuing traffic. Add 10 minutes to your travel time. On the M1 southbound between the Killarney Bend and the Crown interchange is slow moving traffic. The M1 northbound ahead of the Greyston Drive exit, some slow moving traffic there as well. Traffic lights aren't functioning in Bryanston and Cottesmore, in Randburg at the N1 South and Bayers Nordia, Midrand at Lever and Olifantsfontein. Traffic pointsmen are on duty.
Power Sport.
Jabu, I hear that Akani Simbine has just qualified for the 400-meter men's relay. I could not be happier for him. My heart was absolutely broken that other night when he just missed the bronze medal. Tell us a little bit more.
Definitely, Minister. Good news for South Africans at the 2024 Paris Olympic. Now, this comes after Akani Simbine delivered a storming anchor run to take South Africa's relay team to a spot in the final of the men's 400-meter relay at the Paris Olympic. With Benjamin Richardson out injured, the team had to reshuffle the order, taking starter Sean Masawanganye to the second leg on the back straight. Now, schoolboy Bayanda Walaza started with Bradley Nkwana running the bend and 100-meter star Simbine in his usual anchor role, where he propelled through the field to finish second in 37.94 seconds to secure a spot in tomorrow's final. 400-meter sprinter Akani Simbine.
Hey man, I'm just really happy with qualifying for the next round. I think right now we are in a really good position for tomorrow, and we're looking forward to racing. You know, today was just about qualifying, and we did that, and then tomorrow we just have to clean up everything and make sure that we have a good baton exchange throughout these exchanges and just get the job done.
Into rugby, JP Peterson says Sunday's Currie Cup clash against the Griquas is a must-win match. The last 5 results between the Sharks and Griquas shows a trend of a win every other game for the team from Kimberley, meaning 3 wins from 5 starts. After making a slow start with no wins in their opening 3 games, the Durbanites have since won a game plus managed a high-scoring draw. Given their recent upward curve, the Sharks will fancy their chances in this home clash, with Griquas and JP Peterson's Chargers managed to get a win. Now, should I say JP Peterson's rather, says they are up for a win on Sunday.
We had a good week so far, and like you said, it's a must-win. I think we're both in the same boat. Sharks and Griquas in a similar position that we have to win the game. But like we said before, it's not about winning. It's about I was looking for consistency in performance. And last week we were quite poor in the first half. So hopefully, we come Sunday, we can have a collective 80 minutes performance. That will be for our coach outstanding if we can play for 80 minutes and being consistent. And then obviously results driven. I think the players know what to do if what is up for grabs. And I think Griquas knows exactly what they want to do. So I think it's going to be a good game come Sunday with 2 teams that desperately want a win.
Into cricket. Cricket South Africa has today announced the appointment of Paul Adams and Imran Khan as the respective high-performance bowling and batting leads, effective from the 1st of September. Adams, a former Protea spinner who played 45 tests and 24 one-day international, has been serving as the spin bowling coach for the SA Under-19 men and SA Emerging men since 2023. He has also previously assisted the South African A side. Finally, with football, Mamelodi Sundowns head coach Manqoba Mngqithi says the most difficult match in football are the ones that supporters expect you to win. Masandawana takes on Polokwane City in Sunday's MTN 8 quarter-final encounter, with the semi-final place up for grabs. Sundowns completed an unprecedented 7th Premiership title in a row last season, while Polokwane City finished the league 8th on the log. Now, both clubs played each other twice last year, with Sundowns winning the first league match 2-0 before playing the second leg which ended in 0-0. Mamelodi Sundowns coach Manqoba Mngqithi on the upcoming MTN 8 quarter-final game against the Rise and Shine.
It's always difficult to prepare for any match, and I always say to you, the most difficult matches in football are the ones where everybody expects you to win, because you cannot afford to falter. And those games need a lot of extrinsic motivation, because sometimes if the players don't understand the value in winning these matches solely for the purposes of going through to the next round, then I don't think they deserve to be in an environment like this. But be that as it may, we understand the complexities of playing a game like this one. We played a draw against them last year. They did not lose a match in the last 5 matches of the season because of their style of play.
More of sports at the top of the hour with your Power Sports, Jabulane Mabele Polori.
Power Sport.
A Mitsu for her will have your drive ignited. Experience the thrill of the road with our cutting-edge technology, sleek design, and unmatched performance. From the city streets to the open highways, Mitsubishi brings you a driving experience like no other. Embrace the adventure of the Pajero Sport for just 9,999 per month with a whopping 50,000 Rand deal assistance. Visit www.mitsubishi-motors.co.za to learn more. Mitsubishi Motors. Drive your ambition.
From the 7th to the 9th of August, the 2024 987 Woman Takeover.
My name is Bokamunjani Shabalala, and you are joining me tonight on the Power Perspective 98.7 Woman Edition. We have Anonymous from South Africa. We're in South Africa, but we've got Anonymous on the line. Hello.
Hello, Maniwaka.
That's my sister, my older sister. Hey.
You may not realize it, but today is not just another day. It's a celebration of you, a journey, your strength, and the impact you've made on everyone around you. I want to take a moment to highlight just how profoundly proud we are of you. I could spend the whole day talking about your wins and triumphs that we are so proud of. However, your resilience through both personal and professional challenges has been nothing short of inspiring. Life has thrown its fair share of obstacles your way, but you face them with a bravery and determination that leaves us in awe. Despite these challenges, you have managed to keep your hearts generous and your spirit uplifting. You have always been there for us and for everyone around you. I'm getting emotional.
Celebrating 10 years of inspiring and groundbreaking moments. The 2024 987 Woman Takeover. Hashtag 987 Woman.
Welcome back to Power Drive with Siviwe Gwarube, aka Siv G, standing in for Tabiso. If you've just joined us, welcome to Power Drive. Please, let's continue the conversation. Remember, I asked you earlier, are you a teacher? Teachers are the backbone of our education system. If you're a teacher, what do you love about the job? Why do you do what you do? Perhaps you're not a teacher. Maybe you remember a teacher that really changed your life or showed you a different perspective. Send us your voice notes on 083-303-7093 or give me a call on 0861 987 000. I look forward to chatting with you. But Fifi, I just must say, I was incredibly heartbroken the other night when Akane just missed the bronze medal.
Yep.
And it's so incredible to hear that he's qualified for the 400 meter now.
Excited. Listen, Tux of Nix, that's a product of the HPC. And it was quite wonderful getting to see him run and already be a champ at that age. Of course, we know he started off in high school and seeing him at tertiary level still flying the flag high, or rather, working his way up to becoming an Olympian has been amazing. I'm so excited for him.
And I mean, when they did the interview with him afterwards, I mean, he was a complete and utter consummate professional, you know, just simply said, accept the results, and he's just going to work harder. He's focusing on the next thing. I was like, imagine, I don't know, I probably would fall apart. Imagine losing after the race and then immediately you have a camera in your face and then boom. Now you have to regulate your emotions. You just want to say, I I'm so sad. I
Yeah,
missed
I'm so
out.
sad. I want to cry,
Yeah,
but they don't do that. It's the mental fortitude as well as the sheer athleticism that comes with these athletes. What they put their bodies through week in, week out, just for that few seconds, right? And you need to give it your all in that moment.
Absolutely, and it is a few seconds. It's
Hey?
literally 9 seconds.
Thank you.
You blink and then it's done.
Do you think you and I could run 100 meters in a few seconds?
No, not in 9 seconds. I'll definitely be that lady that was at that race. I don't know if you remember online.
The speed walking.
Yeah, the speed walker. I'll just be like coming in 10 minutes later and being like, "Hello, everybody, I'm here." All right, everybody. You are still with Power Drive, and so I'm going to take some calls, and I have got Rev Simangaliso Mkachwa from Pretoria. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Honorable Minister.
Hello, sir.
Well, I didn't know you're such a great host of such, radio chats and so on. Congratulations to you. But also, more importantly for me, congratulations on your appointment as the Minister of Basic Education. It's reminiscent on the days when I was a deputy minister myself many years ago. So as education, I'm very passionate about education.
Oh, that's excellent.
But let me just make up with specifically 2-3 minutes. I'll be very brief. First of all, to say the obvious, we've never met before. And secondly, to wish you a very happy, what I want to call Mbogodo's Day in anticipation. And I'm very, 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 very happy about that and so on.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, but just to say in passing that I've just finished writing you an open letter
Ah, okay.
to be published quite soon. I'll also send you a copy.
Okay.
And basically, well, we don't have time to go into the sort of specifics and so on, but I just wanted to let you know that this is what I'm planning to do.
I look forward to it.
And the reason why I'm doing so is because I'm trying to outline a number of key issues and concerns that I believe you probably need to pay special attention to.
Okay.
The reason why, because if you look at the so-called Asian tigers, that really radically transformed their education from, or rather their countries, from poor countries into wealthy countries, it was because of the system of education that they invested in to prove one point that if you look at also other developed countries and flourishing countries and so on, the first point of focus was education, not just education producing a certificate, but quality education, empowering education.
Absolutely.
So, but I'll say more about that.
Yes, no, I absolutely couldn't agree with you more, Reverend Kacho, and I look forward to reading that open letter. And thank you for taking interest in the system. We can only really improve it when we all are really invested and can provide some solutions. And now I'm going to take another call from Tenolo from Centurion. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Minister. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, ma'am?
I'm very good. I just want to speak about just two issues. The first issue is, look, I'm a teacher. I've been teaching since 1992.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first issue is the issue of correlation between the basic education and the higher education.
Yes.
You see, the lecturers are doing LO from grade 8 to grade 12. But when they go to universities, LO doesn't count as a PA score. So why don't we remove LO and put a subject that will give these learners APA scores when they go to university? Yes.
Yeah.
The other issue is our curriculum in high school.
Yeah.
For 13 years, it doesn't merge with what is being done in the university.
Yeah.
The first year of university, they are doing something completely different.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, absolutely. And Tanolo, I think, you know, there definitely we have to look at strengthening our curriculum, and also we have to ensure that we really, really take a closer look at how basic education and higher education collaborate with one another.
Yes.
And so, yeah. No, thank you very much for that. And trust me, in the next 5 years, this is what we will certainly be looking at. And now we're going to be going on to surprise caller from South Africa. Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi there, Minister. How are you, Minister?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Helen?
I am very well, and I just want to say how proud we all are of you, and how we are rooting for you, and how we love to see your name in lights, and how we just know how you've climbed the ladder from the very lowest rung to the very top rung through your own effort, through your own hard work, and that's what makes us so proud.
Oh, thank you so much, HZ. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you for your support always and your passion for the work that I do. I will always rely on your wise wisdom, having walked this journey as not only an MEC in the sector, but also as a premier. So I really, really do appreciate it. And thanks for the surprise call.
Well, of course, you know, I mean, I've got to go out there and root for my team or our team, you know. We're a big team here. And when we have watched each other grow for all those many years, and it's been many, many years, you were successful to get onto our Young Leaders program from the very rural Eastern Cape.
Yep.
And then you made your way up through that with great distinction. And then you were a staff member and then became an MP, and with extraordinary distinction have worked your way to the very top. So it's fantastic, and it just makes us so glad to see.
Absolutely. And I couldn't be prouder of my political home for availing amazing opportunities to young women and to young people in particular. Thank you very much, HZ. It's such a lovely
No one roots for you more than I do, and for your portfolio.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye,
All right.
Minister.
Bye. And now we've got Fifi on the traffic.
This Power Traffic is proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors South Africa. Hashtag She's Unstoppable. There's a Mitsu for her.
Power Traffic.
I love that. So casual. Minister and Helen. Thank you, ladies. A very good afternoon. Let's take it out to Midrand on the N1 southbound. Ahead of the Betlu interchange is a 15-minute long delay. The N1 northbound between the Winnie Mandela Drive exit and the Olifantsfontein Road exit is queuing traffic at 20 minutes to your travel time. N1 southbound, we're seeing queuing traffic, a 15-minute long delay between the Killarney Bend and the Crown interchange. On the N1 northbound ahead of the Gordon Road exit, some queuing traffic as well at 15 minutes to your travel time. Roadworks are causing delays in Clayville on the R21 in both directions after the Olifantsfontein Road exit. Please do proceed with caution. The N1 northbound leading you up into the Broofplus interchange is queuing traffic at 20 minutes to your travel time. That traffic slows down just after the Brakfontein interchange. The Mabopane Highway, there currently is some slow-moving traffic between the Hairpin Bend and Rachel de Beer Street. For Power Traffic, I am Refilwe Matsela.
Power Traffic.
Power Traffic was proudly brought to you by Mitsubishi Motors South Africa. For the bold boundary breakers, there's a Mitsu for her.
Mara, why are you an army of one? Juggling everything from bookkeeping to HR? Santam Business Assist will help you manage your finances, marketing, HR, and so much more for only 40 Rand extra on your monthly premium. This way, you spend more time on business growth and less on tedious tasks. Speak to your broker or visit santam.co.za. Santam, insurance good and proper. Santam is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer and the controlling company for its group companies.
A Mitsu for her will have your drive ignited. Experience the thrill of the road with our cutting-edge technology, sleek design, and unmatched performance. From the city streets to the open highways, Mitsubishi brings you a driving experience like no other. Embrace the adventure of the Pajero Sport for just 9,999 per month with a whopping 50,000 Rand deal assistance. Visit www.mitsubishi-motors.co.za to learn more. Mitsubishi Motors. Drive your ambition.
From the 7th to the 9th of August, the 2024 987 Woman Takeover, celebrating 10 years of inspiring and groundbreaking moments on Power 98.7. Now we're talking. Hashtag 987 Woman.
987 Women Takeovers proudly brought to you in partnership with Momentum, Road Accident Fund, International Women's Forum South Africa, Nungu Diamonds, Rand Mutual Assurance, MTN, the Southern African Music Rights Organization, Department of Human Settlements, in association with Mitsubishi, Mr. D, Meridian Wine Merchants.
The 2024 987 Woman Takeover. Hashtag 987 Woman.
Welcome back to Power Drive with Siviwe Gwarube, or DJ CFG. And now we have our next story where we are going to be talking to the Department of Employment and Labor that is currently conducting inspections to check whether places are compliant with occupational health safety measures and labor law. And this week they took their campaign to other regions. They went to 2 locations. And so I'm going to be speaking on the line now with Deputy Director at Public Employment Services in Gauteng, Vusi Mazibuko, who joins us. Good afternoon, Vusi. Are you well?
Good afternoon, Minister. I'm good. How are you, Minister?
I'm well. Thank you so much. Vusi, tell us a little bit more about the campaign and what it seeks to do and why it's important.
Thank you, Minister. This campaign was more about Service Delivery Week. We chose this being a month of the women, so let's try and see where can we bring our service where they're in demand. So actually, it is a service Women's Month program where we chose Amaskral or Temba as our focal point of assistance for today, for this week.
All right. And when you have gone to your visits and your inspections, how many inspections have you done thus far? And what are you finding?
Okay, Minister, we did not only do the inspection only. We brought in all our services, your UIF, your compensation fund, your public employment services, and the inspections. So the whole department was offering service at that area. Now, the reason why we chose that area, Minister, is because, remember, with Temba or Manskral, is it a focal point of 4 provinces? In Temba, you're servicing your Northwest, Mpumalanga, Gauteng, and Limpopo. And we chose the morning Jubilee because we felt that it's more central for all those areas. So we didn't only do the inspections, but then we did all our services. Then to answer your questions, yes, we did inspections. Minister, I'm sorry to put on the spot with this one. Remember, we've got what you call the food handlers from the schools, who are either employed by the school governing body or the principal or the schools or the second office. And then when the contract expired, those people were not declared for UIF. So our focal point was try to assist them so that we can go to either the schools or we go to the district so that they can be declared for them to get the UIF. So now that's the UIF part of it, for them to be declared to qualify for UIF. That was our starting point for UIF. And also we have companies around the Temba area who has not registered employees for UIF. So now we didn't only do inspection only to specific companies. We did a roadshow to all the companies around Temba where we've received complaints that clients are not being given the UIF. So we did those inspections first.
Tell me, and Vusi, it's extremely common. People say, I'm struggling to access my UIF. It's been months, and it's just really been a nightmare. How would you advise? I mean, I think campaigns like this are great because you bring the services to the people, which is really, really important. But I suppose, how would you advise somebody who's been struggling to access the UIF for a long time?
Minister, the best way that we do, because remember, we need to offer service to the people. We don't want our clients to go from pillar to post. The employer does not want to declare. And so within the labor center, we've got inspectors. Where the employer has not discharged you, we normally make sure that inspector will go to the company, make sure that the employer declares you for UIF. So my advice is, rather you moving from pillar to post, going to the police station and the police accompany you, you go to our offices, then we'll open the case, we'll call an employer to ask the employer to submit the documentation. So it is very important that once you find a problem, you go to our labor centers. Minister, we've got a problem of our people when they start to do online. Remember that also this online thing is a new thing to us. So now some people might try to do it, and they end up being scammed and all those things. So now we advise them, let them go to the labor center. If those problems, we'll take those complaints, we'll attend to them.
Absolutely.
Okay, Minister?
Absolutely.
For example, with the one for the school handlers, we took all the ID numbers and the code numbers. We'll go to the circuit so that the circuit office must declare all of them at once. So that in the next 2 weeks, we'll give them feedback that, guys, now you've been declared, now can come and apply. Either can do it online or can come to our labor centers, you can apply on our labor centers.
Absolutely. And I think it's so important to bring services closer to the people. Government is there to serve people, and people should not be really struggling to access government services, because that's why they are there. Thank you very much for the work that you do, and thank you for the campaign bringing in services closer to the people. If you have just joined us, we have just hit 1700 hours, and now we're going to go over to the news with Miss Zibonti.
This news broadcast is delivered by Mr. D, saluting all women who get things done.
Power News.
Enkosi Ms. Gwarube. In the top stories at 5 o'clock, the MK party is seeking to clarify the removal of some of its sworn-in members of parliament provisionally placed at 18. And added team nationality debacle ends with her withdrawal from the Miss SA pageant. With the news at 5 o'clock, a very good afternoon. I'm Bayanda Zabondi. The MK party has moved to clarify its decision to replace 18 of its members in Parliament. This change follows the May elections, where 58 of its members were sworn in later than the rest of the National Assembly. This as a result of the party's boycott of the initial swearing-in ceremony of its challenges to the 2024 elections. Now, the party at the time stated that the members affected were aware of the possibility of being replaced. MK Party spokesperson Tlamulo Ndlela has spoken to Power News, and he had these remarks.
It was communicated to them that they would not be it was preferred that they not be sworn in, and that at a later stage they would be replaced, and they knew that. So it was either you sworn in or you don't get sworn in, and they chose the swearing in. And Parliament allows for replacement, by the way, and we informed Parliament that this is what was going to happen. Now, remember, when it comes to swearing in, that's a parliamentary process that we have to follow. So we will heed to Parliament's call and follow their processes. So that's something that Parliament can respond to.
And staying in the National Assembly, Cabinet has urged the public to actively support police efforts in addressing criminal activities. Minister in the Presidency, Kumbuzo Trabeni, highlighted that recent criminal incidents were a key focus during this week's meeting. Now, those incidents include the discovery of the illegal military camp in the Mpumalanga province, where 95 Libyan nationals were arrested, as well as the violent outbreak at a primary school in Katlehong, stemming from a family custody dispute. Trabeni emphasized that South Africans have a crucial role to play in aiding law enforcement in the fight against the crime.
Cabinet has reiterated a call to all South Africans to partner with law enforcement agencies in the fight against crime without resorting to vigilantism. Cabinet has taken